Chris Voshall is joining me from Mizuno. We have had the chance to talk about Mizuno product for so many years, and with the virtues of your product, you already know how I feel about it. I feel like Mizuno irons are in many ways jewelry. When I look at this, what I love is, you know, this is subtlety. I see the relief on the heel. I see the beveling on the back side. I can see the pre-blunted front side to it. I love your treatment of the top line. This is the new 925. I'm just holding it up here with the camera so they can get a really good look at it. And then we have the 925 with the dark finish as well.
Yep.
It's gorgeous, dude. Could you talk to us about these?
I'd love to. It's such a fun launch for us. You know, obviously there's all the things with Mizuno in terms of getting the shaping right, the feel right. But what's awesome is the subtle technologies within this. It features our grain flow forging on the face and the neck. It's going to give you that great feel. But actually the way we're forging it now with some new machinery, we're going ultra thin on the face, getting down to only 1.5 millimeters. You know, typically there's a drawback of getting that thin if it doesn't feel great. But with our processes and how we're doing this, it still delivers on that Mizuno feel.
Yeah, I'm just holding the face up so it can be seen very clearly by Steven's camera over here. That face, how are you adhering it to the rest of the club? How are you building this around the chassis?
So with Mizuno, we always forge the face and the neck together. You know, if you're wanting to get that feel from a forging, you want that continuous grains, you want it to go as long and as far as possible into the club. So as opposed to a lot of the forge clubs out there where the face is a different part, we are forging the face and the neck together.
Oh my gosh,
so we're applying the back piece only. Really just the back cavity edge is what we're putting on. So that's the only part that's a separate piece. But that allows us access when we're forging it to go ultra thin on the face, but still deliver on those feels that people are looking for.
Those feels that you're talking about, that buttery soft feel that you have when you're playing a forge club with the name Mizuno on it. Could you talk to us about that process? Because forging is by its very nature a brutal, very powerful process of tremendous amount of PSI down to a single spot. But you guys end up creating something that isn't at all brutal. It's gentle and it's beautiful and it performs and it has, as you called it multiple times already today, the feels.
You're right, and that's something that we own as Mizuno, is that forging process. You know, obviously the difference in forging and casting, the liquid going to a solid versus a solid in the solid. We, on our grain flow forging process, we use a hammer press to do our initial forgings that gets us to the rough shape. But then there's a precision forging stage that utilizes a hydraulic press. That hydraulic press is a much more controlled press that allows us to really accurately dial in not only head shapes, but really thin faces, which is something you can't do with an old school forging process.
Beautiful. Can we go under the hood on this? Can we start with the cavity and you talking about the technology?
Absolutely. So we always start with the actual cavity shape. You know, if you look at how it's reinforced, there's a lot of reinforcement across the top line, a lot of reinforcement on the bottom. On this bottom side, we're pulling that center of gravity deep. We're putting a little bit of weight towards the toe, which helps boost the moment of inertia. So ultimately, it's a club that's going to launch high and still give you that spin that you need. But then on that front side, the grain flow forged chromoly face and neck. That chromoly material, it's a super strong material that still has the ability to be forged. Typically, when you go so strong, it's hard to forge it. We figured out a way with working with our manufacturing processes.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I was showing the audience, and we had some of the beauty shots that you sent to us too, with the different finishes on these irons. I mean, this is just flat out gorgeous.
It's great. And with Mizuno, we typically don't dip our toes in the multiple finishes. We've had some limited edition stuff, but this is the first time we're launching this black ion finish as a full inline product. If you want to get custom fit, you then choose whether you get the black version or the white version. It's a finish that is really striking in the bag, and a lot of people have been super excited about it.
It is super excited. I'm excited about this iron that I'm looking at too, because this thing is made for business.
You're not kidding on that. This is the Mizuno Pro S3. S stands for signature. This is almost a throwback to old school forging and old school technology. While I talked about how thin we went on this one, this is about maintaining thickness. It's about feel, it's about precision, it's about control. So again, grain flow forged whole body, and it's utilizing a 1025E Pure Select mild carbon steel. Super soft material that then we apply a copper underlay underneath this plating to help it feel even softer.
I'm such a geek. I just got a chill up my spine when you talked about the underlay. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, when Chris sat down with me today, he ran off to grab another club because Mizuno's booth is right there. They're like 15 feet away from us. And this putter was sitting in the bag, I looked at my guys and I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. What am I looking at here? What's the story behind this?
So this is the Imcraft X line, and we've been doing some putter things in the past couple of years, but ultimately they've all been around feel. This still has the feel component where we're forging this face and neck, but the cool thing under the hood of this Imcraft X is the ability to be custom fit with it. So if you look from the sole side of it, you can see two large weights. Those weights aren't just for weighting it. Those weights are actually to secure the pieces together.
Oh,
so
you brought props.
I did.
All right, hold on. Let's get it up this camera too.
So it's a forged face and neck, and this is an aluminum back piece. And these two pieces fit together to give the player the ability to pick the proper neck, proper back, and then the proper weighting, including toe hang and everything.
Can I see the aluminum?
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Ultra lightweight here. And a unique thing about this is the aluminum is so light and this mild carbon steel is heavier. So actually the center of gravity of this plays more like a blade. So it releases like a blade, but gives you the forgiveness of a mallet.
Talk to me about the face.
Yeah,
treatment.
So with that face, we're forging the entire front, but we're then going back and precision milling that face. So that removes a lot of material from the face, it reduces the contact area, makes that sound even softer.
In this particular one that I have, is this standard that you have the shaft so that everything about this is kind of black on black and looks
Correct.
awesome?
Yeah, this is it's called an ED finish on this shaft. It's to be honest, I don't even know what that stands for, but it's super cool and blacked out. And with this whole family, you've got that blacked out look, and we create 3 different necks and 3 different backs that are all interchangeable. So with that, you got 9 different head shapes you can look at, and when you start mixing and matching weights, you got 81 different possible combinations.
You've been at this for decades, my friend. Are you looking at this technology when we're talking about putters and going, we are able to dial in putter technology now more so than we ever have been able to before?
Absolutely. You know, in the putter world, it's a world where people almost don't get fit and they overlook the value of the fitting. So with us, our goal is to deliver something as easily fittable as possible to give that player the ability to get dialed in perfectly.
It's incredible because he says easily as fittable as possible, which belies how much technology went into the design and the performance. Yeah. I'm now holding some wedges in my hand. Again, these look like flowers in the garden because they're absolutely beautiful. This blue finish that you guys use, what do you call it?
It's an ion plated blue that that ion plating is on top of a soft white satin, and it gives it that nice, like, soft look to it, but still a lot of pop from that blue.
I figured you had some fancy marketing term for the blue, but it's basically
it's a blue ion plating. Yeah.
All right, so talk to us about the wedge offerings, about the different grinds, about the different soles, different lofts.
Sure. So I talked about the S3 a little bit ago, where I talked all things feel and precision. All of that in the Mizuno Pro worked its way to the wedges. So we're utilizing a 1025E Pure Select mild carbon steel. Super soft material. It's going to deliver a great feel from that. Grain flow forged, so you have all those continuous grains that feel awesome. Copper underlay, similar to that iron, that's going to help lower the volume of that impact. But then with wedges, it's all about choices. So with that, we got 6 different sole grinds in the T1.
Ooh.
The T3 is a slight cavity back. That has 3 different sole grinds on there. So with this whole family, tons of different options that you can then pick what color you like, what finish you like, what head shape you like, what sole width, what bounce, what grind. So many possibilities.
Well, this one, the blue, it looks like a 10V.
Yep.
So V is your grind.
The V grind on that one.
I love the relief that you gave in the heel right here.
Yeah, that V grind is one where we put a little bit more bounce on that leading edge and expose that for that player who hits down on it, but a ton of trailing edge relief and particularly heel relief. So when you open that up, that leading edge sits really low to the ground.
It's beautiful. It gives you so much versatility in what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
How is the show going for you so far?
Show's been phenomenal. Yesterday was incredible. Today's already off to a great start. It feels like everybody is stoked to get out and play some golf.
Yeah, and you also have some golf balls in the mix last time we were together.
That's right.
Is that being well received?
For sure. The Mizuno Pro family that I talked about on these irons and wedges has worked its way to the golf ball. And when I talk Mizuno Pro, it's all about feel and precision. Softest feeling ball out there. Great control, really penetrating ball flight. So we're loving those.
It is great to see you, my friend.
Great to see you as well,
Thank you very much. Congratulations with all of this.